All right. Now check this out. As far as my philosophy when it comes to solving problems in general, and specifically with Alzheimer's here. Okay. Basically, there's no way to get anything done at this point with many diseases, but especially with something like Alzheimer's, because there's all these trials, there's all these drugs they're trying, and they've tried the specific antibodies of amyloid proteins BS or whatever since for 25 years at least. So what's happened is we've spent an incredible amount of money researching drugs that have not worked, and if they do, they have to go through 3 phases trials to be open to the public in general. So, and then to get on a trial, you have to have like active Alzheimer's, or it's so if you're looking at preventing Alzheimer's, there is no drug that they will give you to prevent Alzheimer's that they could lead you about, that would say that it would help. So in other words, so even so far as I think on the Dr. Oz show, they didn't even say what the goddamn drug was. Like, so, and they have to produce the drug, I think. But something that simple, I gave like 8 drugs you could do. I'm not saying to go do these, but even thinking about doing these drugs led me to understand what they do for the brain. Then for the brain, I figured out you can produce it naturally. And I think I figured out ways to produce it naturally. What the psychedelic drugs effects do for the brain that helps prevent Alzheimer's symptoms, basically. Whether or not you have protein in your fucking head or not. I think so. But it's something to do. Because the medicine and this is all for free. Okay? So for free, I can give you, or any doctor should be able to give what I'm going to give you, which is at least information about the research that's been gone into solving or preventing, curing, whatever the fucking Alzheimer's. So when people say, well, psychedelics haven't, well, not actually, yes. There's a couple trials that have been started on like MDMA, LSD, and specifically for Alzheimer's by Johns Hopkins University for psilocybins, that opens up that entire class of drugs. Okay? If you're researching it. And then you see what the other drugs do in relation to that drug, and this boom, 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 boom. I'm telling you, I instantly came up with like 8 drugs, and then like 4 of them, they've said, yeah, they could probably help with Alzheimer's. So fucking try it. Do your own trial. Or if the government or institutions could arrange massive trials quickly for people who want to prevent, who they're willing to have the study, the results not come for their life. You know, you do it now and hopefully in 40 years you think it prevented Alzheimer's, sort of thing. That's the way to do it.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm well. Supposed to be $275. Thank you. Can I get a squirt of milk real quick?
Because
There's your cream on the side.
to think it's gonna.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. Have a good day.
You too. Bye now. The problem is reversing Alzheimer's. I don't think anything's going to do that. I think the doctors should continue on those the stuff they're doing and just waste money that way, because they actually, at least they're working on people with active Alzheimer's to see if it will reverse it. I'm assuming if you're having that I'd really want to get a hold of those drugs, because if they're saying it's going to reverse it, well shit, I'll take it now when I'm 50, when I don't have any symptoms. I would sign up for these trials. I can't sign up for that trial as someone who might get it in 10, 15, 20 years, coming up on the critical years, because the trials need to be done on active patients. So I can't get in because I'm not in need enough. But they're never going to... They have one last push they're doing right now to get a drug approved right now, and they have a year to do it. So if this one's not approved and ready to go and given to me, by next year or 2 years from now, when my quest is going to be done, it's going to be way too obvious by then. I'm giving him 2 years. I've already given him one, and I've gotten pretty much nothing. I've seen a bunch of trials come up, a bunch of articles come up that, oh yeah, psychedelics might be able to help, but they ain't doing no real trials yet. I mean, they're never going to prove that psychedelics fucking reverses it, so they're going to do their trials with active Alzheimer's patients? Oh my god. No, they need to do what this guy on Dr. Oz, I liked his plan. He was showing exercises you could do, and then he was talking about foods, which I don't have. The exercises, he didn't talk about breathing ones. I gave specific ones, specific people you can do. And then he didn't talk about intermittent fasting, so I think he dropped the ball right there. All he showed was some bitch bouncing on a ball saying sitting too much. And I do agree with almost everything actual doctors say about sort of brain health. Like he's saying you should sit on a bouncing ball and listen to music. Like instead of just sitting in a chair and listening to nothing, because your brain's not active and your body's not in tune with it. Great idea. That's fine. But he gave one exercise. I gave the breathing part, a person to go to in Wim Hof to get the breathing done, which does it and gets you ready for activated for activities. And then the certified health nut gives you a sort of a daily routine and 3 basic exercises, which you can do. Once you get 3 basic exercises, then you do your own little twists like that doctor. So that doctor gave you one exercise that was one little twist. You see what I'm saying? Plus nothing to back it up. Plus the breathing. Or plus food. Which is like, and then said to do puzzles and shit. The same, and gave us a bunch of stuff that we already know. Again, he told us to eat healthy and exercise. No, I told you that breathing exercises and combined with exercises is imperative. Plus, I've actually given you substances that you can try that are or are going to be legal, perfectly legal, to at least get a doctor to let you have them, prescribe them for you for depression and anxiety. Now, just tell them you have a depression and anxiety, I guess. And then take these drugs because they'll help prevent Alzheimer's. I mean, what can I say? I don't know. But because I had the open mind enough to even think about doing these drugs, and this is a key thing, people, I realized what the drugs do exactly, and then because we have a machine within us that's better than any machine that they're going to attach to us or put inside of us, I figured out how to release these drugs naturally by using breathing techniques like the Wim Hof method. I did it on my own, and then Ben Greenfield does stuff that's like Wim Hof because he attaches Wim's method with the certified health nut and puts you on quests. So quests can take a chunk of time and just compress this lesson that helps you divide up basically life energy. I don't know how to even say it, but quests spur that brain action in general, because the fear, the fight and flight, there's something to that. I believe quests open your mind. If you think about just stuff that opens your mind, quests are absolutely huge. Who has done an ancient, well, who's been sent out to the desert with a knife and told to come back in 3 days? Hardly anybody. So there's these mini quests attached to family quests, and I believe marching along, back and forth along your own timeline, clearing trauma, is the same thing as marching up and down your brain synapses, and they're shaped the same. It's the same process of marching up and down your brain synapses when you're marching up and down your own timeline, or the world's timeline, or your groups, or your heritage, or nobody's. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's a really good way to think about it. You're either clearing or building those synapses. Synapses attached to. Imagine my hand, and then the synapses is the node. The synapses are the strings between the hands. The line between two hands. So, and these drugs fit into patterns along these other patterns that clear and change the behavior on their own too. So I'm not sure the exact role plants are supposed to play, but in the stories of the ancients have actually, either we have invented ways to change behavior of plants, or they've been sent by the ancients. Like they were talking about how the ancients may have been able to genetically modify wheat. Well, genetically modify wheat. The ancients, well, we do that like routinely now. So yeah, they probably did. And they were sent by the aliens. Well, kinda. The aliens came down, they switched the wheat, like so, because the Sumerians made wheat better. And then maybe we're going to make something else better. Maybe we make mushrooms better again. Because I think mushrooms were left or tinkered with or given to us or brought down or genetically modified or whatever the fuckified you want to say, to genetically modify us, we also are basically plant. We're inorganic like a plant. Or organic, or whatever the fuck it. Either we're organic, we are like a plant in some ways, and not like a plant in some ways. So I'm not sure exactly, but whatever. I've explained so much, and then why we ain't getting shit done right now for it right now, and why it's gonna take this quest of mine bursting full of knowledge in every fucking direction to get people to listen to me about the simplest thing. Fucking, excuse my language. I get passionate. Because it's so obvious. That's the biggest thing. Cancer drugs are kind of the same way. You have to have if there's cancer drugs that's in trial, I want that shit now. Especially if I've had cancer, that's what's really bad right now. I'm not sure if these cancer drugs work. I mean, I would just venture to guess that that's probably what's going on in some way, shape, or form with cancer, but maybe these drugs can prevent cancer too, because you're going to have to find some plant anyway. It sounds like all of our, I don't know. Personally, I think that cancer probably can be solved too much better, and that they're just holding shit back on us. But there's good, well-intentioned people that are hamstrung. I'm an hour and a half late to my sister's house. And Mookster will be back. Listen to my daily Alzheimer's videos. Listen to my daily videos of greatness. Listen to me because I am the degenerate gambler. And I'm also Mitch Carbone, the Alzheimer's guru. I'm a high school teacher. I'm affiliated with nobody, but I've been high school teaching for 20-something years, and referencing drugs, quote unquote, makes people worried about it's going to get me in trouble with my job. I just don't see how. The information is out there. Am I encouraging people to go take drugs? I mean, what does that even mean? I don't know. I'm saying that there's trials being done with certain drugs right now for Alzheimer's, and these drugs have been done, have already been proven safe for trials in other areas. So what's the problem if a drug's been proven safe to take? Then it's only a matter of time before it's going to be legal. See you later.